and welcome to another exciting episode of Comic Cave Podcast. My name is Chris, here with my hetero life mate, Mr.
Russ.
And welcome to Springer Break 99. We're here in Houston, Texas at the super happy, incredible toy show fair.
Here at Saint Arnolds.
Saint Arnolds Brewery, and we're here with the lovely Angel Smith. What's going on, ma'am? Hello, and welcome, and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Angel Smith. I'm the owner of GEEK Life, a Houston based game and toy store, and
you got to be specific with games these days. Board games,
tabletop, all analog. You are correct. We had a lot of calls. Well, when we opened the storefront a few years ago, we were one street over from another entity that sold video games, and we would constantly get calls if we had video games. And I was like, no, unfortunately, it's all analog. You cannot plug in anything in my store.
Now, correct me if I'm mistaken, but you are the person with the you had the TARDIS.
We did have the TARDIS.
You had the TARDIS in your parking lot. And I was always like, that's an interesting place. I want to go there, but I never found the time.
Oh man!
Because, but it's tabletop games, and I'm the only, I guess, game that I'm into, I guess, is Catan. That's the most modern.
It's a good one. It's a good. We call that a gateway game.
A gateway game.
Yes. Get you in.
Then what's an advanced game? Because I feel like that's pretty advanced.
Dungeons and Dragons. No.
Well, that's an RPG. So an advanced game would be, I don't know, you could get into like terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like resources to try to figure out how to.
Yeah, a little bit more complex resource management game.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Catan gets you from the standards that we probably grew up with, the Monopoly and the life and the Risk. It gets you like it's kind of an entry. Like it's like we now there's more now.
Right.
And
Operation on the duck for you.
Exactly.
Right. So then what got you into the whole board game scene? You've been always into the tabletops?
When did the board game birth for you?
RPGs really got me into it in like high school and college. I did a lot of tabletop.
Did you ever do LARPing?
Not until the past few years, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a LARP at Gen Con, which is North America's largest gaming convention.
Right.
I did that a couple years ago, and then actually the week that the first case of COVID was found in Houston, I did a LARP at Rice University at a convention called Alcon. Leaving the LARP is when everyone got the news that there had been a case tied to Rice University. And we were like, oh gosh, this is going to be the worst case of con crud ever.
Right.
No one caught it at the convention, but a week later is when all the quarantine started. And here we are.
So you've been tabletop since you were a young kid, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Pretty
that?
much.
So, since you were a young kid, what as a young girl, what did you own? What did you own board games, or did you have board game night at your household, or when did the board game experience come into your life, and when? Did
it was pretty young. Like I remember as a kid playing Risk, and my parents taught me how to play Risk, and I really liked it, and I really wanted to take it to our next family gathering, and my dad was like, no, that's we can't. Like, arguments happen, friendships have been ruined. We cannot take it to the family gathering because it will not end well.
Yeah.
We've tried it once before you were born, so it stays within the family. And that's why when I've learned about cooperative games, that I'm like, this is the answer to family board game night, because you all win or lose together. Even if you play like a trader game, cooperative board game, there's a really awesome game called Betrayal. It's referred to as Betrayal on the House on Haunted Hill.
All right.
And you all enter as you're exploring this haunted house as a team, and then one of you becomes a traitor.
Right.
And then you split, and the traitor goes and reads their instructions, the rest of the group reads their instructions, and you have conflicting objectives. And then, so it's not the whole group wins together. There will be one person, but it's not predetermined, and it's not like, Risk or Monopoly, where like you can really game the system to win. You have to play together, or if you're the traitor, you have to.
Interesting. When did you? I got a question. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna cut you off because you always cut me off. So I'm gonna cut you off.
Jerk.
When did you open up the shop, and how did you come about? Opening it.
Yeah. So we started in 2010 is when we opened the business, and we did conventions like this, pop-ups. We did Comic Palooza, Alcon, AggieCon.
Yeah, I saw that you were at South by Southwest and like Gen Con and stuff.
Yeah, I did South by Southwest. The store, I didn't take like a booth to Gen Con or South by Southwest. I went and I did workshops on creating a more nurturing, inclusive gaming group.
Right.
I didn't even know South by Southwest did gaming, to be honest.
South by Southwest gaming has been going on for several years. It's tabletop's kind of the redheaded stepchild of South by Southwest gaming. We're trying to like make our point, like but we are included in like they have their hey train.
Right.
We have the trains coming by.
But they do include tabletop in their awards ceremony and in the hall and in their events. So it is part of, but it is like kind of focused on esports.
Okay.
But it is all encompassing, and they are including us lowly tabletop folks. So we started doing conventions about 2010, did that for 5 or 6 years, and then in 2015, it was everything just the stars kind of aligned, and I wasn't expecting to find the right place, but it just the right place presented itself, and we jumped on it.
The stars aligned.
Seeing opportunity and jumping on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now here's a fun question I'd like to ask you, because I just thought of this right now off the top of my head. Are there any games from yesteryear that you wish they'd bring back today? Any games that you grew up with, like, hey, that game should be revamped? One of the games in particular is that game that you'd have to have a VHS, and you have to play with the VHS and the whatever.
Seen it?
I think so. It was like a haunted kind of house VHS board game. So what game would you want of them like that, or you can think like a Battleship, but in today's world with LED screens on the
Right.
screen?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. There's so many amazing games coming out. Like the tabletop market is flooded with new games every year.
Right.
And so to think of like what could be revisited is a really tough question, because you've got me stumped. I cannot answer that. I'll have to. I'm going to percolate on it while we talk.
And on
And
the
I come
flip
back
side
to
of that,
it.
what current game that's coming out do people need to be on the lookout for?
Let's see.
You seem like you got a few.
I mean, there's a lot of fun ones coming out. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't want to play favorites.
Pick a couple.
Yeah.
Tell the audience what they should come play at your store.
Well, funny story about that. So COVID.
Damn you, COVID.
Our store, it was 50% events based.
Okay.
And you saw it. It's an old house.
Right.
Not the greatest ventilation. Bringing people together in an unventilated room for hours at a time wasn't the right choice for our community.
Right.
So we sidelined that, and as a result, we decided to not renew our lease. So we're currently nomadic. I'm not going to say homeless. We're nomadic. We're going back to our
You're
roots
searching.
of pop-ups.
You're searching.
Right.
We're going to look for another one. Your audience may notice that I'm standing and y'all are sitting. I fell at the beginning of May.
We're not trying to be not gentlemen. She requested
I
it.
fell and broke my back at the beginning of May.
Man.
So that has set back. I'm no nerve damage, thankfully, but it's going to be a healing process. And so, doing conventions like this isn't.
You fell and broke your back. Do you have kids?
I do have 2 kids.
Did they step on a crack? That's so messed up.
I should blame them. No.
You should.
No, I decided to take up quad roller skating.
Okay.
And I was not even doing anything fancy. I wasn't in the bowl. I wasn't on a ramp. I wasn't
The
jumping.
triple Lindy slide.
I was in a parking lot going like the slowest you can go, and then I was on the ground.
Dang.
And here I am. So that's kind of sideline things a little bit more, but we have finalizing location. Hope to be able to announce a very, very cool pop-up in September.
Awesome.
And then hopefully after that they'll get the ball rolling, and we'll be able to announce our new digs, not in the too distant future.
Well, I've seen that you have like a few other interests as well. You have something called the App Game Review. What is that?
Oh, the AP Game Review. The
AP Game Review.
Amplify Play.
Okay.
So that is my other project. Amplify Play is my other project, focusing on amplifying underrepresented demographics in tabletop gaming, and in all gaming. But that's my focus is tabletop. So I focus on amplifying the voices of creators, game designers, artists, writers, creatives of all kinds in the tabletop industry that don't typically get a voice at the table. So like just signal boosting whatever they're working on, and then also amplifying the power of gaming. Like it can bring people together, which I know has been kind of like taboo this year.
Right.
But when it is safer to bring people together in larger numbers, I think people are going to be really into quality face-to-face time, and games are an amazing way to do that. and they aren't all competitive like Risk that will, or Dominion that will divide families and friendships.
There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, but not that light. We're not dying yet.
No, exactly.
But once again, we'd like to thank Miss Angel Smith for coming out to Comic Cave Podcast and coming out to the super happy, incredible show Toy Fair.
Here
Any
at
last
Saint
remarks?
Arnolds.
Here at Saint Arnolds, yes, I keep forgetting that. Saint Arnolds Brewery, come out to Saint Arnolds and have yourself a brew.
Yeah, do you have anything else coming up? Any other pop-ups that you guys are going to be at? How can people find you?
You can find us at shopgeeklife.com. I will say we are the original Geek Life in Houston.
I believe it.
So I'm just going to leave it at that.
I believe it.
We focus on tabletop games, and we do have some comics, but our focus is on tabletop games. And so shopgeeklife.com on all the socials. And if you want to check out Amplify Play, it's just Amplify Play on all the socials.
Now, I'm going to do something very bold. I'm going to shoot my shot right now live on camera. Whenever your store opens up, can we be the first guys to interview you? Because we do store owner interviewers.
I love it.
And you are I think, a competitor in the Houston market, especially for tabletop games and in the geekdom and all of Houston. So could you give us the honor? Would you give me the honor of joining you whenever you enter your first or your new location?
Yes.
And we'll be there. Awesome.
Yes, give me
She
your
said
card.
yes.
We'll be in touch.
She said
you
yes.
heard it here first.
She said yes. But thank you so much for coming out, Miss Angel Smith. Russell, any last remarks?
No.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you so much for coming out. Come out. Well, no, by the time you see this, it'll be done. But come out to Houston anyway, and go out to Super Happy Incredible Toys, and come out to Saint Arnolds Brewery. Have yourself a brew and some drinks. Awesome. Until next time, peace.